Hi, I'm Michelle from Michelle's Romantic Tangle, and if you've ever visited my blog, you'll know that I love to make scrap quilts. For most of my quilts, I use 2.5-inch squares of fabric. Recently, another quilter gave me a large bag of 3-inch pre-cut squares. My first thought was that I'd use them to make a quilt with 3-inch squares, but the more I got to looking at the different prints, the more I realized that some of them are perfect for my pet project. And the rest would be an interesting color combination to make another quilt from without cutting more 3-inch squares. That's where my AccuQuilt Go comes in. With the 2.5-inch multiple square die, I can easily and quickly recut these 3-inch squares into perfect 2.5-inch squares. Aside from the fact that I prefer working with the 2.5-inch squares, this will protect me from whatever cutting errors their fabric's previous owner might have committed. To cut my squares down, I am taking my 3-inch squares and separating them into stacks of 4 to 6 pieces of fabric. I try to line the raw edge of the fabric up with the blade of the die, but I'm not being too particular about it because I don't know how on grain these squares were cut to begin with. I place my stacks on alternate corners of the die because if I placed them side by side, I would have 12 layers going over this blade, which you can't do. So once I get my squares into position, I'll put on my cutting mat and crank it through the Go Cutter. And that's how easy it is to transform squares that I might or might not have used at some point, into squares that I know I'll use for my next project.